I want to throw it all out the window.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's happens. It's not going to my body.
You hear me in the microphone?
Is there feedback?
Yes, there's feedback.
It's working?
Mm-hmm.
It's working?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's the best.
No, Ryan's the worst.
Okay, so we're using your computer for the audio.
Yep.
It's still broadcasting?
Is it still broadcasting?
I'm
Yes.
asking.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know that I can swap between the systems. It's not gonna work. Sorry.
That's okay.
choose the proper e-commerce system for your clients. That's a good thing for web developers to know. And the reason that the slide says 2 kilogram pocket knife is that I gave this talk first in Canada. So I was being nice, but I generally say 3 pounds. I know 2 kilograms is a little over 4, but I usually say 3 pounds. But the analogy that I always use is everyone's heard of WooCommerce. That's always the first thing that people talk about when they talk about e-commerce and WordPress. Slap WooCommerce on there, it'll do what you need. But WooCommerce is like a Swiss Army knife with 276 blades. It will do everything. But if all you need is a bottle opener, you don't need a Swiss Army knife with 276 blades. And that's me. So the first thing that you do when you talk to your client is to figure out what it is they're selling. There are actually 3 things here. We've got digital products and services, we've got physical products, and a system that's come out just in this past week is for donations. It's called Give, and that would be a 3rd thing that I did to get the slides updated. When you're looking at digital products and services, you need to look at things like, are they selling products like ebooks or video downloads, appointments, courses, or learning, and that's a big thing right now. I'm getting an awful lot of people asking me to set up courses and e-learning for them. Physical products these are all questions you need to talk to your clients about before you just make a decision on which e-commerce system to use. Are they selling simple products? I have a lot of artists who are selling paintings. That would be a simple product. A variable product with different prices, like t-shirts in different colors where sizes small through large are one price, and then an extra large is a slightly different price. So you need to get all of those questions answered to start with. Then the next thing that you ask them is, how are they going to get paid? Are they going to do PayPal? Are they going to do another payment service, or are they going to do their own merchant account? If they're doing their own merchant account, they're going to have to have secure certificate on the site. With PayPal and with Stripe, you can technically get away with running payments through their website and not having an SSL on your own site, but it's really a good idea to put an SSL on the site that's got a store on it, because somebody was mentioning earlier about elderly people who would rather call up and give a credit card over the phone rather than put it through a website. And if they saw a website that was not secure, they'd be even less inclined to put a credit card number in there, even if it does go through PayPal. So that's the next point of information you need to get from your client. How do they plan to get paid? What about taxes? In Alabama, we have stacked taxes. The state charges a certain amount, the county charges a certain amount on top of that, and the municipalities will charge differing amounts on top of that. What is subject to tax? Digital products, physical products only, services. Again, in Alabama, services and digital products are technically subject to tax. Services are not. Shipping is not, mostly. That gets weird too. If they are auto-delivering digital products, this gets a little dicey. An auto-delivered digital product would be like software, where somebody goes to your website, fills out the order form, pays with PayPal or whatever, gets sent back to your site, and immediately gets a download link. That's an auto-delivery. Those types of sales are subject to the European Union VAT, and that is from ground zero. The rule used to be that you could sell up to 100,000 euros in a year without being subject to this tax, collecting it and submitting it to the various entities in Europe. And you have to submit it to the billing address where the person lives. So if they live in Germany, you pay tax to Germany. And that gets a little dicey. So if you are, or if your client is selling that kind of thing, auto-delivered digital product, then make sure, break it up. Make sure that they make the payment, they go through the checkout process and make their payment, and then you have to send them an email. Don't make it automatic. If you send them an email personally with the download link in it, then that breaks the chain with the European Union and are not subject to the VAT. But there is legislation out there to change that now because it has really driven an awful lot of small businesses out of business. They said, we don't want to deal with it, so we're either not going to sell to the European Union or we're not going to sell at all. And so now they're trying to backtrack on that, but it hasn't happened yet. That's just something to be aware of. With taxes, there are a couple of states in the U.S. that are really weird. We've got stacked taxes in Alabama, and that's actually fairly simple. In North Carolina and California, you owe stacked taxes at the point of delivery. So if you're selling a product, if you're in California, and let's say you live in San Francisco and you're selling to someone in Los Angeles, you owe whatever the tax rate is in Los Angeles. And those tax rates change by zip code sometimes. So you have to have every single tax rate in the entire state of California set up in your e-commerce system. Fortunately, there are a couple of services that will handle that for you. TaxJar is one that works with WooCommerce. There's another company called TaxCloud that works with WP e-commerce and iBix Exchange. So if you have a client who's in North Carolina or California in particular, take a look at your taxes pretty carefully. What about shipping? This is another issue that gets really complicated really fast. When I'm talking to artists, and we're talking about paintings, I always tell them just include the shipping price in the painting. Don't break it out. So it's $4,000 for that painting, and maybe $600 of that is for shipping. But the client doesn't know how much of it is. It's all included. That's an easy way to do it. If you're selling small products, you can do flat rates. I have a client who sells an awful lot of greeting card sized products. So she can put a whole bunch of those into a priority rate flat box, and she can send anywhere in the U.S. for up to like $11. So she's just set a flat rate of $11 on everything that goes out of her shop. If you have products that vary a lot, if you have some that are really small and light, some that are big and heavy, you can set shipping per product. You can set it per order. You can do table rates, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with, although unless you do a lot of e-commerce, you may not know what it means. But like you go to JCPenney and you find that for shipping up to $50, it's going to cost you $7.50. And from $50 to $75, it's going to cost you a certain amount. That's a table rate. And you would want separate table rates for both inside the U.S. and for all the countries outside the U.S., which gets to be a problem for some of them, where you have to enter each country individually. And there are 194 countries in the world. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
Because I have entered 194 countries into every table rate. And the last thing is phoning home to the U.S. Postal Service, UPS, FedEx, those types of services. Some of the shipping, some of the e-commerce systems have shipping modules that will integrate with these various setups to phone home and get the actual rate, where you put the weight of your products in, it adds them all up, it calls home and says, I've got a box that weighs 2 pounds, 7 ounces, and it's going to zip code, whatever. And it returns an actual real rate. So those are all ways that you can set up shipping. And different e-commerce systems handle the different shipping rates in a different way. If you need to phone home for rates, by the way, I'll tell you this, WooCommerce is where you need to be. If your client doesn't care and you can set up table rates or something else, then WooCommerce is the others. But if you need to phone home, then WooCommerce is your baby. These are some other things that you need to consider. Are you going to self-host your e-commerce, or are you going to go with a service? That's something to talk to your client about. How much maintenance are they willing to have you do on their e-commerce system? In the last 2 weeks, WooCommerce has put out, I think, 8 separate updates.
It was on purpose, but
And the reason is that they put out a major update and then it broke everything, so they've been patching things one at a time, and they're up to 2.4.6 right now. And every time I log in to an e-commerce setup, I've got another set of updates to do. Do you want convenience? In which case, the client may want to go with a hosted shopping cart solution. Something like Shopify, where it's actually on a separate website, so they don't have to deal with it. But if they want control, particularly over the way that it looks, then that's where you go back to your self-hosting. So you've got control is the good thing about self-hosting. Convenience and cost are probably better things for other hosted services. If anybody has any questions at any point, feel free to holler. So this tells you a little bit about what to look at between self-hosted and paid services. You've got licensing fees for your self-hosted, and they could be pretty hefty. WooCommerce is well known for splitting everything out. The basic plugin is free. That's right, but you can't do very much with it. And you have to have all these various add-ons, and they're all pretty pricey. If you want table rate shipping, that's $200. If you want, I had a client who wanted to be able to track their shipments. That was another $150. So, a free plugin is going to bounce you into the $500 to $600 range for add-ons pretty quickly. Are these one-time fees or are they annual fees? In most cases, they are annual fees, but there is a discount for renewals. On WooCommerce, it's about 50%. On self-hosted, you are almost certainly going to need a secure certificate and a dedicated IT, which is going to add to your client's hosting costs. Count on anywhere from $100 to $200 a year extra for hosting for those two. There might be the larger hosting plan or bandwidth. You are not going to run an e-commerce store out of a $5 a month Bluehost account. I don't care what you do, it isn't going to work. And then there's maintenance and updating. All of that's got to be handled when you're running an e-commerce system because there are so many updates, so many moving parts. It's like a Jenga game. You don't tweak one thing without the whole tower coming down. If you're looking at a service, you've got a monthly fee more than likely. You've got transaction fees more than likely. You won't need an SSL on your site because transactions will take place on the other site. Again, I recommend that you get one anyway because it engenders confidence. And it's a fairly small price to pay if your client is making money off their store, and if they're not, then they aren't going to be in business anyway. So here are some of the ones that are out there. We've got WooCommerce, of course, which is the biggie. WP e-commerce, iThings Exchange, which is a fairly new one, and it has a lot of promise, but it's not a really mature product yet. There's a lot of stuff you can't do with it. Easy Digital Downloads, I don't have Give on here. ShopLocket has decided to close its doors since I just put these slides together, so I kind of forget that it's over there. But Shopify is still going strong. And this is just a list of some of the different ones that you got. Give would be over here on self-hosted. Give is another one that it's for donations only, And it works for like nonprofits, like if your church needs to put up a donation page, or I've got one client, they're a dog rescue group, 501c3, and they have donations on their pages. They have, the thermometer things that you see where they put a goal up there, and people, they show people how close they are to the goal. That's all showing up on here. That's all built in. It's really slick. It's really well coded. I know the guy that put it together, and so put that one on the bottom of the list, even if only in your head. For services, we've got Shopify, Forget ShopLocket, Ecwid and Cart66 are two others that are paid services. I haven't worked a great deal with them. I worked with Ecwid with one client about 3 years ago, and it works fine, but there was always something just a little off about it. It kind of sort of did what you wanted it to do, but you had to tweak it a lot, that kind of thing. And Cart66 is one of the more expensive. It's well built, but they're aiming for the enterprise level people. They're not aiming for people who are selling 5 or 10 products or t-shirts out of their garage or whatever.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
About the service, on the service angle, how do solutions provided, like for instance, something like Squarespace that provides e-commerce just on the top of the stack of all the other web services that they provide as a part of their hosting portfolio kit? How do they stack against dedicated e-commerce solutions? Are they rinky-dink, or are they?
Yeah, in my opinion, they're very limited because they are intended for people who are not technically oriented.
Right.
People who are on Squarespace are the kind of people who need drag and drop design.
Right.
And they don't want to mess with a lot of this stuff. They go in there, they put in their PayPal address, they put in their products, and that's all there is to it.
So beyond extremely rudimentary needs.
Exactly. And I've moved a couple of artists off of Squarespace who tried to start there, and then found out that they, for instance, they wanted to sell prints of their paintings. They sell the original paintings and sell prints of it, and they couldn't figure out how to do a print in an 8x10 and an 11x14. It was just very
Because they can't.
They can, but they couldn't figure out how to do it.
Gotcha.
So that's
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You should go for 250.
There's your Swiss Army knife with 276 blades and another cat. Who spotted the cat on the first slide? All right. That was in Montreal. We had a little friendly contest among several of us to see who could put the most cats into their slides and not have to be noticed. So I did not win. I only had 2 cats in mine. I had the most dangerous cat. I did. And my cat was the only one that was carrying a knife. Everybody else had fluffy cats. So there's the link where you can go to my website, which is, I actually thought I was going to have the new website finished today, but didn't quite get done, so that's still the old one, so don't laugh at me, okay? But you can go to that link and download the, I've got an actual cheat sheet there where you've got your list of questions down the left, and then across it lists all the shopping carts. And it'll tell you yes, no, or maybe, so it'll help you do a decision tree. Yes?
I've got a couple questions.
Please.
So I just set up e-commerce 2 days ago or something. I'm using a service called Gumroad. So I sell digital films.
Right.
But they come with supplemental PDFs and things.
Right.
The reason I went with Gumroad is because it can make it stream only, so they can't actually get the .mp4 file or whatever.
Right.
That service, the way that they do it is they don't, whenever you convert a sale, they can't, from my page, download it. It sends them an email, but Gumroad sends them the email, not me.
Yeah.
So how does that, what's the tax implications if
You're good there.
I'm good
You're
because
good
it's
there.
via email
Because
instead
it's
of...
via email, because it's a third party who's sending an email.
Okay.
If you were If you were sending an email, you would need to send it manually, and not let it just download it. That's Easy Digital Downloads would also do everything that Gumroad does for you in terms of the streaming and the protecting of your files and so forth, but it would have that automated email download setup, so you're in better shape there on Gumroad.
Then with Alabama stacked tax with digital products, you said is kind of iffy with digital.
Digital products are generally, they are iffy in that the law says that they are subject to tax. Nobody that I know of is actually paying it.
Okay.
So, it's serious.
I thought I heard something a while ago, maybe it was just in the works, but they said that all internet sales was going to be taxed, but only after you paid about $1 million.
Right, that's part of what they're talking about now, because at this point, there's really no way for the state to monitor all the sales that go out to addresses in Alabama. Like, we don't pay sales tax on Amazon products, for instance, unless the retailer has a physical presence in the state of Alabama.
You know how Amazon does it?
That's how Amazon does it. Right.
Amazon will send you a nice little email during tax time saying, you spent this much money, please pay tax to your municipality for it.
Oh, really?
And it's on you after that point. Amazon doesn't care.
But it's voluntary. I mean, literally, in the law, it's voluntary. Yeah.
Amazon's not required to report how much you bought. They
Right.
just let you know.
At Infomedia, I know that when we had e-commerce clients, what we always told them is our clients had to be familiar with the tax laws.
Right.
We would set it up for them.
Right.
So they just told us what they needed to pay in taxes and how they wanted to set it up.
Right.
Because we had no clue about that.
And that's what I do with my clients too. I say, get me the list of your tax rates and what needs to be settled. Most places are a lot more sensible than California and North Carolina. But those two services that I mentioned, TaxJar and TaxCloud, keep up with that stuff, and they change automatically. So if Raleigh, North Carolina decides to up its sales tax 1 penny, you don't have to do anything. If it's integrated with commerce, it automatically gets changed. Yes.
So I have a question about if you have a client that, let's say they make kitty cat huggies.
Okay.
And so you have knit huggies for your kitty cat, and you know that if you put it on Etsy, you're probably going to get a lot of people just looking for craft items.
Right.
At what point does it make more sense to go with your own solution, whether through a hosted service or something on your own website, and versus leveraging the power of a community and their own tools for dealing with e-commerce?
That's a really good question, and I don't know if there's a cut and dried answer to that. A lot of my artists will keep their Etsy shops even if they're selling for their own website, and then they try to leverage social media, blogs, whatever they need to do, Instagram, Pinterest, in order to drive people back to their website rather than selling mostly from Etsy. But they're on Etsy so people can find them. Make sense?
It does, it does.
Yes.
I guess the question kind of in line with what he was asking. I had a client probably 4 years ago that had a website presence as well as Amazon shop and eBay shop. And I don't know how much Amazon and eBay have changed in 4 years, but it was a pain in order to import and export product listings from Amazon. I won't even get into eBay, but I don't know if they. What is what is it like now?
There is some integration. WooCommerce does have a way for you to, you can export from eBay and from Amazon into CSV, which is, pretty much standard. And then WooCommerce does have a module, which is another $200, but it will allow you to import that CSV into products inside your WooCommerce store. There's a lot of matching, when it brings up your import, and then it'll go on this side, it'll be, these are the fields in your products, these are the fields in your eBay products, and you have to kind of match them so that it gets imported correctly. So it's a little bit of a hassle, but better than re-entering all the products manually, depending on how many of those you have. Yes.
So let's say somebody who has a business or a service where they do manual billing, they mail an invoice today for a service, that's an annual subscription to something, and the person normally sends back a check. Let's say they want to move that to e-commerce, where they would load in the list of their customers and the price they owe.
And the dates.
And the date they renew on, sure.
Right.
So what type of shopping cart solution might you suggest for that?
For that, you've got a lot of different options. Now, WooCommerce can do that. iThemes Exchange has a module that will do that. Let me talk a minute, because I didn't really talk about iThemes Exchange. The advantage, I did mention that it was not a mature product, and it's not really good for shipping things, so for odd types of shipping. But for services and courses and invoices and things like that, that's probably going to be a really good solution because they have a developer package for all the add-on modules. So you pay one price and you don't have to worry about this $200 for this, $149 for that. So iThemes Exchange will do that, WooCommerce with a module will do that. I don't know about WP e-commerce. There are a few dedicated invoicing solutions for WordPress, and that might actually be a better way if you're not selling anything other than just setting up your invoices.
Okay.
Let's see another. Yes.
I have a client that has both physical books and digital books to download, and also wants to ship internationally. So what would you recommend, like with Shopify or something like that, to be able to handle like all the international shipping, or is there very tech savvy?
Yeah, Shopify handles international shipping. You just, they have a way to set it up. You can tell them, no, I don't want to ship internationally, or yes, I will ship to these countries, or yes, I'll ship to anybody who will send me money, which a lot of people do. And then they'll figure out the shipping from there. So yeah, Shopify would be a good one for that.
He had a question about, it wasn't very detailed, but it was, how might you operate a brick and mortar point of sale plus an e-commerce solution together? I think.
That's tricky. Because most of the point of sale systems are proprietary, and they don't integrate very well with shopping carts that are available for WordPress. Now, my son, for instance, works for Snoozy's Bookstore, and they have a point of sale system that was custom built for them. It works in store for the point of sale, and it also integrates with their website, but that was a custom solution. It's not something for somebody who sells $250 a month and all that. So, I would tell him to take a look at point of sale systems and tell him that he wants to integrate with his online presence and see who can help him with that. That's the way I would do it.
Again, in that situation, the real hurdle is probably inventory.
Yes.
Inventories. If there's a way that you can automatically match inventory that you can track it in the database, like you said, it's probably a technical solution.
Right, it's not an out-of-the-box solution because it does depend on, most of these, by the way, will allow you to handle inventory, which is great if you're an artist selling one thing. You don't want it to sell and then still be out there for somebody else to buy. So inventory control is not really an issue with most of these. But when you're dealing with point of sale with brick and mortar and online, then you've got two separate places where inventory is being pulled, and that gets a little trickier.
Also, happens more often than not with like gift registry, I think.
I'm sorry?
With gift registry,
yes.
Like shops and things like that. We had a big, and Infomedia, we had a big problem with that, where you have a lot of people going through the gift registry to buy things, then you have the shop not have that anymore.
Right, and then it doesn't get deducted from inventory. Right. There's all sorts of interesting problems.
One solution that we did that was really interesting through that is that, and I don't know how many gift registries do this, or maybe registries or whatever, but instead of sending a gift, what they would end up doing is sending a gift certificate for the amount that was given. with a picture of like this is what this person got to come to the store and pick it up.
And that gets them in the store with money to spend. That worked out really well. Yes.
One thing I'm wondering is, like, these various services, do they offer like analytics in terms of either conversion rates or any sort of back-end stuff to kind of see where are your sales coming in from, where, you know?
Some of them do. The actual hosted services generally will give you very, very basic analytics. How many, you know, all of them will give you reports. You sold X number of yellow widgets last week, and your total cost and your total sales were this. But some of them will give you more analytics in terms of this is how people found you. They came in through your Facebook page, or they clicked on a link from Pinterest or something like that. You can always integrate with Google Analytics and set endpoints if that's something that's really important to you. But the services will, the hosted services will generally give you something that's just really very rudimentary. More questions?
Yes.
I am momentarily out of answers, so unless somebody comes up with something else, I'm done.